Welcome back, everybody, to part 2 of my top 50 games on the Nintendo Switch. I have over 200 games on my Nintendo Switch, and I was asked to narrow it down to my favorites. So I'm doing a top 50 list. If you haven't watched the first part of this, go back and check out numbers 50 through 41. And after you've watched that, come back. Make sure you subscribe and like and all that stuff. After you've watched that, come back and watch this one. This is numbers 40 through 31. I counting backwards is weird in blocks of 10. All right, let's start with number 40, and that is a really cool first-person puzzle game. It's called Chroma Gun. Now, if you've never played this before, I want you to think of Portal. All right, if you think of Portal, except now instead of shooting portals, you shoot ink. And not like Splatoon ink, but you shoot like this ink that changes the color of the wall, which then has the ability to attract these little robots to it. So if you're looking right here, you see that the yellow robot will be attracted to a yellow wall, whereas the red robot, a red wall, and the blue robot, the blue wall. Makes sense? Your gun can fire 3 different colors, and then you can mix and match those colors to make other colors. So yellow and blue makes green, red and yellow makes orange, blue and red makes purple. So now you have red, yellow, blue, green, orange, and purple all mixed together, and then you have all these little robots. Now you'll notice if you're looking at this that some of the robots have spikes on them, like this guy here, and some of them do not. If they have spikes on them, then they can do damage to you just by walking into you. If they don't have spikes, then you can safely ignore them. So your job is to basically go through the level and paint the wall or the robots in order to get them to move across certain areas. And that's where the puzzle part of the game comes in. It is $20 on the Nintendo Switch. I feel like I really, if you can play this someplace else, then I would recommend that you play it someplace else. But if you don't have any place else to play it, then play it on the Switch because it's really good. I would say that the Switch version has kind of sloppy controls compared to the other versions, but it's still really fun. And if you get used to it, I think you're going to do just fine. And there's a demo available. So number 40 is Chroma Gun on the Nintendo Switch. It's $20, but there is a demo, so you can check it out and see if it's something that you like. Let's move on to number 48. And this game totally blew me away. I really wanted to put it higher on the list, but there's just so many really fun experiences that I felt like maybe I can't. But Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition, I didn't play it on the Wii U. I didn't play it on the 3DS, but I played the hell out of this game on the Nintendo Switch. This is one of the few games that I didn't finish. I finished the story, but God, there's so much other stuff that you can do in this game after you finish the story that I've still got buckets and buckets of content to get through. This game is really fun. It is a button masher, and most of the time I don't like button mashers. Button mashers are not my cup of tea. However, they managed to make this really fun. And this is my second Warriors game. The first one that I played was Fire Emblem Warriors, and this one really got me excited when I was playing. It was so fun, and there's a sense of urgency as you play, and the writing is terrible, but I really don't care because it's a really great experience to run from one side of the map over to the other and rescue somebody just in time before you fail. It is $60, but man, the amount of content that you get in this game is absolutely bananas. So I highly recommend Hyrule Warriors. That's my number 39 on my top 50. Number 38 would be Minecraft. Minecraft It's just one of the greatest games of all time. And the only reason that I didn't rank it higher is because you can't have mods. Modded Minecraft is a thing of absolute beauty. You can play that game forever. Unmodded Minecraft is still really, really fun. And the Nintendo Switch version is a great version without a doubt, especially with all of the cross platform stuff between Microsoft and Nintendo. But Minecraft is $30 on the Nintendo Switch, and it's Minecraft. If you like Minecraft, you're going to like Minecraft on the Nintendo Switch. It's just a wonderful experience, and it's incredibly fun, and it's family friendly, and it teaches persistence, and it's just you can always log in, or not log in, but you can always sit down and play Minecraft, and even for a short amount of time, and accomplish something. Even if it's just, oh, I'm gonna go dig a couple of branches in my mine to see if I can find some diamonds, and maybe you're just going to go and find a couple of chickens and get them to follow you to your farm so that you can use them to get eggs and stuff like that. There's always something to do in Minecraft, and that's what makes it just one of those games that you constantly can come back to over and over and over again. So if you've not played Minecraft at all, I don't know where you've been for the past few years, but you should definitely check out Minecraft on the Nintendo Switch. The next one would be a very strange game. It's a roguelike, but it's a roguelike that plays like Mega Man. And growing up, I didn't really play a lot of Mega Man. I was really more of a Mario guy, and I always felt like people ended up in two camps. You were either somebody who really liked Mega Man, or you were somebody who really liked Mario, and it all came down to the way that the characters jumped. And Mega Man always felt very heavy. I mean, of course he does. He's a robot. And Mario always felt kind of floaty. So I played Mario first. And then when I tried to play Mega Man, I was real bad at it. So I didn't play lots of Mega Man. But what Mega Man that I have played, like Mega Man X and stuff like that, I've had a lot of fun with. So 20XX is a Mega Man game. I mean, it is clear, like they are clearly trying to ape Mega Man, but it's also a roguelike in that there are stuff in the game that is different every time you play through. And it's really fun. The way that the game plays is great. The platforming is very good. The shooting is fun. The power-ups are good, and the graphics are gorgeous. The audio is awesome. So that's 20XX. It is $17.99 on the Nintendo Switch, and I highly recommend it, and that's why it's coming in at number 37 on my list. Let's take a look at another one that I think a lot of people will hear and they'll be like, oh, this looks so stupid, but it's a really fun couch competitive game, and that is Astro Bears Party. Astro Bears Party it's $5. Usually you can find it on sale for $1, and even at $5, it's worth it. Basically, I want you to think back to the 80s and 90s and when you were playing Snake, that game where you were a snake that would go around and eat all the dots on the screen, and every dot that you ate, your body became longer, and then you had to make sure that you didn't run into yourself. Well, Astro Bears Party is a 3D competitive version of that. Now, I would not play this game. I would not buy this game unless I had other people to play with. This is definitely a game where you want to sit down with people on your couch and play this game and laugh at the ridiculousness. It's really good for kids as well. But basically, you are running around a sphere on the outside, and you can't run into your trail that you leave behind, and you can't run into the trail of the other players as well. You can jump over it. When you jump, your trail jumps up too, so then you can run underneath somebody's trail, and it's just a super cheap and really fun game. If you want to, even if you never play it again, if you've got a bunch of kids over, just download the game for $5, put it on, hand them the controllers, and then go in the other room and enjoy the fact that your kids aren't saying, "Hey, entertain us," because they're going to be having a blast playing Astro Bears Party. It's a fantastic game, and for $5, it's a steal. And a lot of time, it's on sale for a lot less than that. Going in a completely different direction would be Wargroove. Wargroove is next on this list. This would be number 1, 2, 3, 4, number 35 on the list. This is a game that is very heavily inspired by, oh my God, the name of the game just escaped me. Advance Wars. There we go. Very heavily inspired by Advance Wars, but more in a fantasy setting. It's got gorgeous sprite work. The people who are in charge of the art direction of this game have done an amazing job. It's got a great campaign. It's really fun. You can play online asynchronous multiplayer or online synchronous multiplayer. And what I mean by that is when you are playing this game, you can either say, "Oh, here are my turns," and send your turns to the other people who you're playing against, and then they'll take their turns and send them back. My community had this huge Wargroove tournament, and because of the asynchronous play, it took a really, really long time for our winner to be crowned. But we had this huge tournament that took forever. But the game is really great, and if you don't want to play a drop of the multiplayer, you don't have to. The single player is going to keep you busy. On top of that, the whole game has what's the word I'm looking for? It has basically a campaign builder built in. So what does that mean? It means that people can make a campaign right down to having quests and dialogue, all that stuff, and they can make the entire game so you have infinite strategy RPG right here with Wargroove. Honestly, I may be regretting putting this at number 35. I think maybe I should have put it higher. But you know what? On the day that I made the list, that's where it was. And I said in the last video that I was going to be second guessing myself, and here I am second guessing myself. But Wargroove's amazing, and if you haven't played it, you need to play it. It's really, really great. Number 34 is ARMS. I adore this game. This game is fantastic. When we saw the Nintendo Switch unveiled for the first time, that was in November, or no, that was in October of 2016. Then in 2017, in January, they had that Nintendo Direct where they had Mr. Koizumi up on stage, and they showed off ARMS. And when they showed ARMS, I said to myself, "Oh no, this is another one of those Wii motion control games." And I was incredibly wrong, because yes, it does have motion controls, but you can ignore the motion controls completely if you want. ARMS is a third-person fighting game where you have giant stretchy arms that they have, I don't know how many characters off the top of my head. They get a bunch of characters, and each character has their own special abilities, and it is incredibly fun to play. And if you've not played ARMS and you are even a little interested, I don't know. Yes, there is a demo available. The game is $60, but download the demo and check it out. This is one of those games that benefited greatly from having a demo. Because it had a demo, I was willing to give it a shot. If it hadn't had the demo, I would have missed out on a great game, because I would have looked at it and been like, I don't know, I think it's going to be weak. And I would have been wrong. This is a wonderful fighting game. And as far as fighting games go, this is my number 2 fighting game on the Nintendo Switch. The number 1 obviously would be Smash Brothers, but I adore ARMS. And if you've listen, I'm not going to keep saying more about it. Go download the demo right now and find out for yourself how awesome it is. All right. Speaking of things that can be downloaded right now at absolutely no cost, we talked about another game from them in the last video. That was Smite. Now we're talking about Paladins. Paladins is a free-to-play game. I like to refer to it as poor man's Overwatch. Overwatch is a hero shooter, and Paladins is a hero shooter. and it's incredibly fun. It's not as good as Overwatch, but you can't play Overwatch on the Nintendo Switch. And if you're looking for a really fun hero shooter on the Nintendo Switch, then Paladins is your go-to game. It's got that same free-to-play model where there's like a battle pass and stuff, which you can safely ignore and not ever take part in. However, what I would recommend is that you do the same thing with Paladins that you do with Smite, and you buy the thing that unlocks all the characters and all future characters, so then you can just play whoever you want, and who cares if you get the newest skins or stuff, because that stuff doesn't matter. You just want to get into a game and shoot some dudes, and it's really, really fun. Every character feels pretty unique. They all have their own special abilities that they can do. Some are really good at getting behind the enemy and taking them out. Some are really good at standing in the front lines and taking lots of damage. It runs at 60 frames per second. It might not be the prettiest thing that you'll ever play, but it runs really well and is a lot of fun. And it has crossplay, so you can play it with and so does Smite, by the way, that I mentioned in the last, I forgot to mention in the last video. It has crossplay, so you can play with your friends. Probably not on PS4 though, as far as I know, because Sony's a bunch of, well, you know, they're a bunch of heads. All right, let's move on and talk about a single player game that comes in at $15 on the Nintendo Switch. This is number 32 on our list, and that is a game that I just started playing. I picked it up. It was not on sale, but I had enough gold coins that I didn't have to spend any actual money on it. Oh no, it was on sale. It's not on sale anymore. I'm sorry. And that is Enter the Gungeon. Enter the Gungeon is a top-down twin stick shooter, basically a bullet hell game, and but it's also a roguelike. You're gonna see a pattern where if it's a roguelike, I probably liked it a lot. It's a bullet hell roguelike, and it's incredibly fun, and it's got a bunch of different abilities and guns that you can pick up. You can pick up a gun, actually, you can pick up a shotgun shell that shoots shotguns that then shoot as well. It's crazy, and it's got a fantastic art style that just screams 16-bit, but this kind of game never would have run in a 16-bit environment. It's really fun. And if you've not played it, you gotta pick it up. It also has local co-op, so you can sit down with somebody next to you on the couch and run through together. It's really, really good, and I recommend that you check out this game, which is Enter the Gungeon, A Farewell to Arms. I've been told by many that you can dump hundreds of hours into this game, and it's only $15, so I don't know what you're waiting for. The last one on this video, that would be number 31, is... It was tough for me to pick, so rather than choose one of them, I'm going to kind of lump all of them in together, and that would be the Jackbox Party Pack games. In the last video, I spoke about the use your words as the kind of game where you put the switch up on the screen and everybody uses their phones to connect to it, and their phones are the controllers for the game. You play like these weird trivia games or other stupid, like there's things called Split the Room, where you have to come up with something that's controversial, and the more controversial it is, the more points you get, because you want one half of the people who are playing to pick one thing and the other half to pick the other. There's things called Patently Stupid, where you have to create a problem and then solve it. So other people will create a problem that you have to solve, and then everybody has to solve that problem, and then you vote on who did the best. The Jackbox games are really, really fun, and going along with the idea of use your words, which was on the last video, this is the kind of game where it all depends on you and the people that you're playing with as to how much fun you're going to have. If you are playing with a bunch of people who are kind of boring, then it's going to be a boring game. But if you're playing with people who are funny and can create ridiculous ideas and juxtapose these things against each other, then you're going to have a lot of fun with the Jackbox games. I probably have the most experience playing Jackbox Party Pack 2. That's the one that I've probably played the most, but any of them is real. They're all really fun, and I highly recommend that you check them out. So that is number 40 through 31. If you want to find, if you want to let me know down below your 40 through 31, what's your list? Let me know right down below in the YouTube comments. Of course, subscribe so that you get notified when the next video comes out, which is going to be number 30 through 21. All right. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.